Dr. Klein is back with us, and we're talking about nutraceuticals, which you hear us referring to a lot, nutraceutical selection, and, of course, shipment and freshness. And what is an assay? And for the sake of discussion, I'll kick it off by saying when you go to the big box store, there's a lot of really pretty boxes and displays and all kinds of merchandising, but you may not be getting anything in that capsule.
Well, it's all a matter of value. Okay, you can get good value, you can get poor value, but it's all a matter of getting the right bang for your buck. Rest assured, okay, you're not going to get something for nothing. But it's far more likely you're going to get nothing and pay a lot for it when you're buying things that are present in boxes, blister packs, and so on and so forth. Because the packaging alone, okay, exceeds the value of what's in it. And that's just the way these things go. So with regards to nutraceutical selection, let's start off with what's a nutraceutical. Okay, a nutraceutical is an over-the-counter product. It's an item. It may be a mixture. It might be a combination of naturally occurring or not naturally occurring substances that are not, they do not require prescription, which is a matter of law, but what they're doing is supplementing something that's supposed to be in your diet to have a net effect. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Well, what it means is this, okay? If you're going to develop hypertension, if you're going to develop thyroid disease, if you're going to develop certain types of cancers or diabetes or so on and so forth, it's almost always related to something in your environment. And you're going to go, well, gee, what about genetics? You know, my whole family has diabetes. And I'll point something out to you, okay, that we're all 99.99% genetically identical. It takes a subtle difference, okay, in genetics to make us different. But what we do the same in family clusters is we live in similar or the same areas and we eat the same things. Far more impactful, actually, than subtle changes in your genetics. So what does this mean? It means that if you are deprived of vanadium and deprived of chromium, you're going to develop diabetes. Simple enough. Vanadium and chromium deficiency leads to insulin resistance, which subsequently results in diabetes. How do you fix this? Well, guess what? You take a properly dosed, properly combined chromium-vanadium complex. What does this do? It replaces the two minerals that are missing that tend to cause most adult-onset diabetes. Yeah, you don't have a shortage necessarily of metformin or glyburide. You don't necessarily have a shortage of Victoza. What you do is you have a shortage, a deficiency in these minerals, and the reason is it's not in our food anymore. It's not in our water supply any longer. This is where we're supposed to get it. Let's say you're constipated. You have an issue with going to the bathroom. Okay, well, the best things in life are free, and this is one of them. Okay, but how often are you supposed to defecate? How often are you supposed to poop, as it were? After each meal. That's 3 times or more per day. And if you don't believe that, ask your dog. Every time you feed your dog, they run around to go out. They will go out and poop because they have not trained their gut not to do this. All right? So what are you short of? Why is your gut not working? Why is constipation such a big deal in this society? You're going to love this one. It has nothing to do with a shortage of colace. It has nothing to do with a shortage of Metamucil. It has a shortage to do of ingested oil. Oil shortage. Not to be confused with what goes on in the Middle East, but in your diet will cause constipation. Why is this nutraceutical so important to you? Because as you ingest it, okay, if you have enough of it, it will make it to the colon undigested. The colon has one function, and that's to pull water out of your poop, thereby preventing dehydration. If oil is in there, it doesn't work exactly the same way, and you'll poop like a champ. How do you do this? By simply taking an adequate amount of fish oil per day, flaxseed oil, and something called CLA. It will work, and it will get you going. Constipation is also something that has a tendency to lead to diabetes, hypertension, and oddly enough, colon cancer. These things are very, very important. Easily treated for as little as 25 cents a day. You're not talking serious money here to take care of yourself. Nothing is worse than spending the last days of your life pooping into a colostomy bag. I can't imagine how much fun that would be. Socially, not so great, okay, but infinitely preventable. With regards to things like, let's say atherosclerosis, angina, and so on and so forth. There are things that you can do to reduce your risk of angina, reduce your risk of congestive heart failure, and heart attack. And where else does this thing start? It starts again with fish oil. Oh, wait a second here. So do you mean fish oil does more than one thing? You bet it does more than one thing. It was intended to. It's a foodstuff that is necessary for multiple organ responses. If you want to get into the vernacular of the industry, it supports this or it supports that. It supports cardiovascular health. It doesn't support anything. It's necessary for function. It's necessary for health. It doesn't support jack. What it does do is it allows your body to be healthy. Now, anybody that's ever shown a dog or a cat, or cattle for that matter, knows a couple things. That in order for an animal to win a prize, it has to look healthy. If it looks sick, you lose. I don't care how cute a high school student you are at the 4-H. If your animal looks healthy, you have a chance at getting a ribbon. What do you give that animal to make the coat shiny? Fish oil. Okay, how does this work? Okay, well, the manifestation of the skin. The skin is the largest organ in the body. You got more skin than anything else. Oddly enough, is very responsive to oils. Certain oils, omega-3 fatty acids in particular, will make your skin look healthy. It makes your hair look healthy. And oddly enough, if you're healthy on the outside, you're going to be healthy on the inside. Very, very important thing, okay, to understand is that the appearance of health often indicates the presence of health. Kind of a cool thing. Now, when we're looking at nutraceuticals, how do you know what to pick and how to pick it? Well, for starters, you better do some reading. You better do some studying. And it takes a lot of it to figure this out. And the way I like to teach people to do it is to pick one organ system per day, one item per day. After the course of a year, you're going to get pretty good at this. How do you select the data to read? National Library of Medicine, PubMed, and what you're doing is you're looking at very, very objective data. Much of it I disagree with, but at least you get to see the science behind the discourse rather than going on and reading about somebody's opinion, which may have no value whatsoever. You know, you can go on the internet and read a lot of my opinions. Doesn't mean they have any value whatsoever. I think they do. Okay, but the joke is many of the things that I've written 20, 30 years ago are still there. And now I disagree with myself because as data comes out, things become more clear. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, how you have to be careful what you say because the words will come back and bite you. You may end up eating them, so make sure they're tasty when you spew them out. So a nutraceutical has value if you know what you're taking. A nutraceutical has value only if what you think is in it is actually in it. And if you don't think that this happens, I will ask you to go to the internet and look up Inspector General and pick one of your favorite box stores and look up fine and or investigation. And what you're going to find are the biggest stores, the chains out there right now, the biggest ones have all been investigated largely by the state of New York, okay, for finding out that what they had in the bottles wasn't there at all. It's called fraud, and they paid a lot of money, okay? Do you think they've really changed very much? Okay, no. So you need to know what's in these things by assay. Okay, so you need to understand, you need to investigate the provenance of your product. Where was it made? When was it made? Is there an assay or measurement available for you to look at? And you need to do that. You need to be willing to do that. When you go to the box stores and ask them for an assay, they're going to shrug their shoulders and they're not even going to know what you're talking about. So you need to understand quality. The second thing is delivery. So getting these things delivered to the distribution center in the summertime here in Florida is going to about ensure spoilage. I don't care what the expiration date is. It doesn't even really make any difference. If something is temperature labile, it is going to take a hit when kept in a truck, you know, at 140 degrees. I don't care what happens. So the delivery must be received when the weather is right. So generally speaking, in my practice, I don't take delivery during the summer months. Usually we start taking delivery on the major supply items in October. We stop taking delivery in May. So we stock up so the quality remains. They have to be stored in proper conditions, which means an air-conditioned, desiccated, that means dried storage facility, something that we do routinely. That's the only way that it can be done, only way that it should be done. So provenance, where did it come from? Assay, what's in it? Last piece of it is how is it presented to you? If it's in a box, more times than not, it's overpriced. That box costs several dollars to make. The label itself is almost $1. So what does that mean? It means by the time it gets to you, that's a $4 increase in price. That's just for the box. Okay, the bottle label and everything else. You end up with excessive pricing, very, very poor value. When something comes in a blister pack, and there's only one reason to put something in a blister pack, and that's if it's hydrophilic. That means that if it sucks up moisture from the air around it and spoils, it should be blister packed. Other than that, it should never happen. It increases the price to you, decreases the value to you.
And when you go to the nutraceutical store at the Stages of Life, you'll be able to ask for assays on every product there is right through there, and everything's in a nice plastic bottle. All right, very good. You can visit that store. We'll give you contact information in a moment. But first of all, you can sign up for a program so your nutraceuticals can reach you at your home in a good way. That would be stagesoflifevitamins.com, stagesoflifevitamins.com. And don't forget, if you want to know more about the doctor and his practice, suffernomore.com, suffernomore.com. Thank you very much for listening.
Our phone number is 407-679-3337, and our website is stagesoflife.net. We're located in Longwood at 1917 Booth Circle. That's right off of I-4 and 434. And let's see, our office hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. The health store that Rob mentioned with all of our nutraceuticals is open during those office hours, but we're also on the web, as I said, at stagesoflife.net, and you can purchase your nutraceuticals at your leisure, and we will ship them to you.